Hello, welcome to Waterdog Photography Blog. I'm Brooke Peterson, and today I'm going to show you how to place a watermark on your image using Adobe Photoshop Lightroom. You'll need to open up the Lightroom panel, and when you do, open up Edit, and then click on Edit Watermarks. You're going to set up a new watermark. At the top of this box, this brings up a new box, you'll see Custom over here. And on the right-hand side, you'll see Watermark Style. We're going to use text right now rather than graphic. I'll show you how to do both, but we'll do the text first. So click on Text if it's not already highlighted, and then you'll see several drop-down boxes here. I'm going to close Image Options because we're not going to use that right now, and I'm going to open Text Options. So in the Text Options, you have several different fonts you can choose from the drop-down box. These are fonts that are on your computer already, so you probably have plenty of choices there. I'm going to leave it on the default. And then the style is whether you want it bold or italic, or bold italic. I'm going to leave it on regular. And then the alignment, left, center, or right, refers to how the word that you're using is aligned within this little box over here. So the left alignment would be along the left-hand side. Centered would be is it centered in this box, and right would be if it's on the right-hand side over here. So I'm going to leave it left for now. And the color, I'm going to change the color. So I'm going to click on color, and I'm going to change it to black using the dropper, just so that it's easier to see because I'm going to move it so that you can see some of the things. All right, so the color is now black. Now, we're going to talk about the shadow, but before we do that, I'm going to skip down to the bottom where it says anchor. This anchor refers to points in the image where you can anchor. Right now, the word copyright is anchored in the bottom left corner of the picture. If I wanted to put it in the center bottom, I could click on that one. The right bottom, click on that anchor point. You can put it dead center of the picture, wherever you want it. You can put it here using the anchor point. So I'm going to put it in the bottom right so that you can see what I'm doing here. And now I'm going to go back up to the text options. Now this is referring just to the shadow. Right now there's a little bit of a shadow on the word copyright. If I want the opacity of that shadow darker or lighter, I can just adjust the slider. To 100 is about as dark as it goes, and I can make the shadow I can make it go completely away by putting 0 or just by unclicking the box. I'm going to leave it up a little bit so that you can see some other things to do with that shadow. You can put an offset on the shadow, which means that you can pull it away from the word a little bit further so that the shadow is easier to see. The radius refers to how hazy that becomes. If I pull the slider way up to 100, that becomes just a blur, and if I pull it all the way down to 0, it becomes solid. So I'm going to keep that, I don't know, around in the about 20, I guess, so that you can see that it's kind of a hazy shadow, but not too hazy. And then the angle is for where the light is coming from for that word. So if I move this slider, you can see where it moves to. I would actually, for this, I'd probably put it about here because it looks like the light is coming from the right-hand side. Now, I am not going to change this for every image that I do. I'm going to create one copyright, and I'm going to use that same copyright over and over again. So this may not be necessary unless you have photography that always is consistent where you want your shadow. Okay, one other thing that you can change down here under Watermark Effects is the opacity of the word that you put in here. So right now it's completely solid. I could make it a lot lighter just by adjusting the opacity. I usually put this somewhere between 60 and 70, depending on how much I want my watermark to show on the picture. Down here where it says size, proportional, that refers to the size of the font. So right now it's set at a font size of 10. If I want it bigger, and I probably do, I just pull the slider up, or I can actually click in the box and put the number that I want. I like to use something around 16, size 16 for my copyright. And then the ones below that, fit and fill. Fit will fit the entire word across your image. So say you want a sentence that says copyright by Brooke Peterson. and you want it in the center, you could click on that center box to center it, and it would fill that space and go all the way across the image. Or right now, it goes all the way across the bottom of the image. I do use that occasionally if I want to show images that I don't want anyone to print. Then you can put a watermark like that. If you use fill, it fills the entire space. I don't ever use fill, but you can. And the more you type in here, if I were to write a longer sentence, this would get smaller until it fits in this space right here. Okay, so we're going to use proportional for this. And the inset right here, horizontal and vertical, refers to how far the word is from the edges of the picture. So your horizontal inset, I usually set it at 1 or 2, just to give a little bit of a margin on the side, and the same with the vertical, just to give a little bit of space so that the word isn't getting cut off the edges. All right, and that's it as far as how to set this up. The only thing that you would maybe want to change is you wouldn't necessarily want the word copyright there. So down in this box in the bottom, you can click on that, and you could leave the word copyright if you want. I would put my name, Brooke Peterson, and I could leave the word copyright, but I prefer to have the symbol for a copyright. So the way you create that symbol, if you're on a PC, is press the Alt and then 0169, and it will make the copyright, the circle with a C in it symbol, and then whatever word you have after that. So that's usually preferable. On a Mac, I believe it's Option 0169, and you'll have that copyright symbol there. Now, that's how you would set up to have your name or a date or whatever you want that you can use as text. But if you have a logo and maybe you want a picture down here rather than words, you would click on graphic instead of text. And that brings up a new box so that you can choose the graphic off of your computer. In this case, I'm going to choose logo on black, which is my logo. And I choose that. And now I already had it set up for the text, but it's going to put my logo in that same place instead. Everything else on that area except for text options, watermark effects, is the same. If you apply any of these, they will apply the same way they did if you were to put your name in there or any other text in there. So you can change the offset. You can change the size by using the sliders. The image options functions the same way as if you click on graphic. So if I were to put choose, a box would come up in order to choose this image. So you can use either one, the graphic or the image options. All right, the last thing you need to do is save this watermark because you want to be able to use it over and over again. So it's going to be a custom watermark because I've already created it, and I'm simply going to click on Save. And that brings up a box that says Save New Preset. So this preset name, since it's on the bottom right, I would probably put bottom right, BR, and it's my logo. Bottom right logo. I could put in Waterdog Photography, but for this purpose, I'll just put bottom right logo and create it. Okay, so now that watermark has been created, how do I get it onto the image? Well, after you have finished developing your image, you'll click on Library, and you'll want to export the image because all those developments that you put on the image need to be exported in order for you to see them or print them on some other media. So you'll export the image, and when you click on Export, a box comes up that says Export One File, and you can see all of these presets. These are user presets that I have created already over here, or Lightroom presets. They may have some other things that you'd want to use, but we're going to use the user presets, and I have these set up already. I've already added these as a preset for this. What I want to use is the watermark, not these presets right now because I haven't set that up yet, not on this video. So you'll set up where you want it to export to, if you want it to rename, if it's a video, the file settings, the image size, all of these things you can set up for how you want it exported. The thing you're looking for though is watermarking. So you want to click on watermark, and then in this case I want bottom right logo. And now when I export those images, it will have that logo on the bottom right corner. I can also add these settings. If I click Add, I can title that as something that I always want. The bottom right logo will always be there. So I could name that bottom right logo. Maybe I have something else there, but I can use that as a preset. And now, anytime that I click on these user presets, these settings that I have put in here, including the watermark, will show up. And then I can export. So I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please enjoy looking at my blog, Waterdog Photography Blog, or my website, waterdogphotography.com. I'm Brooke Peterson. Have a nice day.